In the gospel we just heard, for they all contributed out of their substance, out of their abundance, but she out of her poverty has put in everything she had, all that she had to live on. Today is Remembrance Sunday. It's called different things in different regions of the world. And in some areas, when Remembrance Sunday comes along, family members of those we're remembering wear a poppy. I'm looking to see, I don't see anyone wearing a poppy this morning. In some countries, like England, there will be a service of remembrance at the cenotaph, where perhaps some of us will visit local war memorials. I'm wondering what your thoughts are when you see veterans of great age and younger folk who bear the wounds of war. And what of their families? I'm wondering how many of us saw and remember the Royal British Legion Festival of Remembrance in 2011, when the Military Wives Choir sang, "Wherever You Are." In the Royal Albert Hall and on television, people were moved to tears as they shared each singer's longing for a loved one who was perhaps on deployment thousands of miles away from home. Perhaps in some remote barracks, those for whom the military wives sang were also tearful, knowing that the song was for them. Perhaps you remember that in 2013, the Poppy Girls singing "The Call," and saw a little girl unexpectedly reunited with her father, who as a surprise had returned from operations in the Indian Ocean area. That little child forgot the presence of the Queen and the huge crowd in the Royal Albert Hall as she raced across the arena to throw herself into her father's arms. War memorials across the world bear similar words in many languages. The horror and tragedy of war, whatever its cause, hurts the families of combatants and non-combatants. The Royal British Legion Festival of Remembrance always ends with a cascade of poppies. Remembrance Sunday is a family affair. I hope you're all tuned into and anticipating that after this Mass, you're welcome to a reception and a lot of good things to eat, including donuts. If salivating had a sound, there'd be a lot of noise going on right now. The elderly lady in the gospel didn't plan to attract attention. She put a tiny coin into the collection box, and then she carried on into the temple. We know nothing about her. Did she live with her family, or was she one of many elderly widows who depended on the temple authorities for accommodation, food, and perhaps a little pocket money in exchange for keeping the temple clean and tidy? We don't know. She probably thought that nobody had noticed her and noticed her small donation, because she was usually unseen by the many people who came to pray there. They could have helped the widow, but didn't. Priests and people alike also walked past beggars, not sparing them a second thought. But Jesus was different. He saw the woman and recognized that she had nothing more than the tiny coin which she gave to the temple. A coin that was so small that perhaps it wouldn't have paid for a piece of bread. Many other people could have offered more to the temple treasury, but didn't. Instead, Jesus gave the widow a gift that nobody else did: public praise for her generosity. To her contemporaries, she remained an unsung heroine. But thanks to Jesus, we remember her with pride. We've all seen examples of tight-fistedness. Perhaps we are sometimes guilty of it ourselves. There are, however, those who are willing to offer not less than everything, and we remember some of those people today who had only one life and gave it on our behalf. And we remember them with pride. Today, on Remembrance Sunday, many of us treasure unforgotten family members whose sacrifice is remembered and recorded for future generations. Not everybody earned a Victoria Cross or a Congressional Medal of Honor. Not everyone's name is recorded on a war memorial. Sadly, the victims of war are often anonymous and unrecorded. But they leave a legacy. We remember the families who yesterday shared their loved ones with our today. We remember their aching hearts and the pain of those who, perhaps, filled in impersonal missing in action forms when all they wanted to do was to cry. We remember families whom war left without one or more loved ones. We remember veterans whose lives were forever changed by their memories and perhaps their injuries, their wounds. We remember children whom war deprived of a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, or cousin. We remember parents who lost a child. We remember workers missing a colleague, friend, or mentor. We remember leaders who gave their lives so that others might survive and flourish in a new society built on solidarity and hope. We remember urgent emergency responders who put themselves at risk to extinguish fires, rescue the injured and traumatized, and break tragic news to anxious families. We remember them all, and we do that with gratitude.